Yo, welcome to another episode of Under the Surface, a talk show where we talk all things Bazaar. Recently, we combed through the voice lines in the game, and we chose a couple of characters that had something new to say. I must say, the lore is getting deeper and more convoluted, so if you want to speculate a bit, join us, and let's dive under the surface. Today, we have more lore for you all. We looked at a couple of characters that have cool additions to the lore, or some cool tidbits that we could analyze. So that's exactly what we are going to do today. I guess let's start from the top. GSMM, also known as Grand Society of Master Merchants. Let's start easy. Who's your favorite Master Merchant?
I'm going to say the only right answer. Barcoon.
Okay. Quicksell is cool as well. Like Midsworth is... Yeah. Mid. Exactly. Let's look at Barcoon's quotes, actually. Okay, let's look at his first line.
Most orcs never leave the forests. I wanted to see more.
To be fair, I'm not sure if he says oaks or like ox or whatever. Like, it's hard to hear at that point, but like, it's the first mention of the species of those sentient trees.
Yeah, and we also don't we haven't seen any other ones. We don't, this is the extent of our knowledge about the species.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It kind of reminds me of Pygmalion, Jabalian thing where he's Barcoon's an outsider, you know?
I mean, we're going to see that a lot of people actually are sort of outsiders, that they are unique in the Bazaar. So yeah, there's apparently some forest, place of origin of Barcoon, but it's not really specified if this forest is on the Foundation or is that some other world. So perhaps we will learn that soon. After that, he says,
I couldn't believe the GSMM let me join. I want to prove I'm worth it.
Yeah, cool lines, nothing really innovating. But I didn't know that particular thing, so...
Quicksell is my best friend here. Oh, she's so small.
Apparently, Quicksell and Barcoon are best friends. Did they become best friends after they both started working in GSMM? Or they were friends beforehand and then decided to both employ there? What do you think?
I feel like it was after. I don't really understand why Quicksell's here, so...
Yeah.
Maybe Barcoon drug her into this, you know? And she's just trying to be nice to her friend.
I would say if it was true, it would probably be other way around, because Quicksell seems more outgoing and more impulsive, and Barcoon is just, chilling there in the background. He just enjoys small things.
Well, Quicksell just wants huge items.
Yeah, but the next line from Barcoon.
I love small things. Midsworth is not small.
And I love the delivery on that. He deliberates the point for a second and then, no, Midsworth is not small. So, the implication. We're going to cover Midsworth in a second, but yeah, I get Barcoon on that point. I think the next line is intriguing because...
Someday I'll bring all my small treasures back to Arbor. But first, I need success.
So this forest mentioned in the first line is apparently called Arbor, which the name is sort of common in the sense that arboreal means to do with trees. So Arbor as the name of the forest seems rather basic, but the naming conventions of the Bazaar seems to take from real things, in the sense real words that describe a thing and then they are somehow modified. Barcoon is, bark.
Yeah.
Un.
And there's so many species and characters and worlds. It's it's probably the easiest way to do it, but especially for somebody like Barcoon, who's a very, very side character, in a very side species. So I mean, I kind of like it.
It's definitely cool, but it would be silly if we got sort of The Office type show about GSMM,
Oh God. The other thing about GSMM is that it's very unclear about how big it is, you know?
Okay, perhaps I should go through all the quotes in one batch, and then we can, deliberate all those points, because I think some of the lines actually give us some insight in regards to those questions.
I'm no silly collector like Quixel and Barkin, you know. Medium items are practical, reasonable, manageable. The middle road is the wise road. The safe road. Best to stay on it. One day, universal entropy will bring the ultimate averaging. All things in their place. But until then, we ply our trades and build our fortunes, waiting for the day.
In general, this guy seems like he has very strong opinions about life and how to live it. And it seems like this guy wants to preach his way of living to others and, influence them to follow that particular way of living.
Yeah, that one day universal entropy will bring the ultimate to everything, all things in their places. It feels very weird compared to the other lines.
Yeah. It feels like he strives for some sort of balance, like balance in the universe as some ultimate form of goodness or like order. I mean, he also could be on the spectrum, and that's how he, realizes himself. Maybe he has some form of OCD or whatever.
Here's my question. Do you think his name was originally Midsworth, or do you think he changed it?
I don't know, actually. Like it's hard to say, because Barkun and Quixel seem like genuine government issued names, and Midsworth is like British fancy person. What's it called? Like royalty? Is that what I'm looking for?
Probably.
Yeah, so somehow, this gives a feeling of British royalty or something along those lines.
Yeah, like Sir Midsworth.
Yeah, something like that. Perhaps it's a stage name.
This whole thing is just performance art for him.
British people care about appearances, so perhaps as he's so set about his way of living and his approach towards life and how to arrange one's life, perhaps he also wanted to have more posh name to be more respected. And also, I don't know, I was going somewhere there, but then I lost it.
Yeah, let's just go through Quixel, and then I'll probably have stuff to say about GSMM.
Okay, so I think Quixel has the most intriguing lines and the most information we can infer from them.
I'm the only Pixite in the Bazaar. I don't feel lonely. I feel special. Barcoon takes the GSMM so seriously, but I'm just here for the huge stuff. Grand Society of Master Merchants. The only true word there is of. Midsworth says he might fire me if I don't try harder. Is he even our boss? I'm not even sure if the GSMM is real, but the uniforms are cute.
Yeah. Grand Society of Master Merchants is what exactly? Not even the people in it know.
This gives vibes of Severance, sort of, the show. But also, this could also be some form of Midsworth coping mechanism. Perhaps he does have some form of OCD, and he made this company to sort through stuff and, sort them by small, medium, and large, so they are in their own separate places. So it feels better for him. Because of that, he micromanages Quixel and Barkun. He tells them what to do. He told Quixel that she needs to pick up her pace. And if they did never, sign any paperwork, or perhaps there's no official organization called Grand Society of Master Merchants, it's just them three showing up to work every day and just, hanging out and trying to sell stuff, then that's why Quixel might think that Grand Society of Master Merchants is not true, because it's not grand. It's not really a society because it's only three of them. They are not masters because they are just, sorting stuff. And they are not really merchants because they are sorting stuff. Like, at least that's my interpretation of things.
Before the video that they released on the Grand Society Master Merchants, I mean, I kind of assumed this was a massive organization with lots of high tier merchants. I mean, Quicksil and Barcoon are clearly new to this, you know? So yeah, I kind of see what you're saying. Like your interpretation of it sounds about right at this point.
We definitely need more details on all of that, but like Quicksil, she's not really taken by the fact that their work might be bogus because she's just there for the vibes. If so, if it is actually fake, all of it, then yeah, what's the point? And that's why I'm assuming that Midsworth has some sort of mental disability that compels him to sort through items.
Yeah, because his goal, he likes mid-size items. It's his goal.
So I guess we'll need to look for more details about Grand Society of Master Merchants, but for now, I think we have some, theories on what might be happening there. But I think that the next pair of characters is even more intriguing, and this part, I think, is totally new lore in terms of the Bazaar. It's not something that we really have heard about. We are going to talk about Sterling and Sylvia, because they are sort of a couple. But let's hear about it. Let's start with Sterling.
Sylvia and I. Oh, it was a love too big for the silver screen. Sylvia and I starred in many films together, but I'll never forget our first, Tide Pools of Desire. Oh, it was love at first sight, of course. The press ate it up, but the real drama was off-screen. We were too different and too similar. It wasn't meant to be. But I must admit, to be snubbed by Sylvia and the Academy in the same year, it changed me. I can't help feeling that I never reached the crest of my wave, never quite escaped the tide pool.
And Sylvia?
Gold is loud and gaudy. Silver is demure. I may not look it now, but I was quite the starlet in my day. We Asterazans have a youthful form that's quite different, Quite alluring. I was Creature Magazine's most desirable female 3 years in a row. I starred in over 100 films. But stardom is a burden I was glad to shed. Now I'm just an old lady sipping Palago punch on the beach. And I've never been happier.
Ooh, that's a steaming hot cup of tea, I would say.
Yeah, I get why Sterling or Sylvia was so into Sterling. He's a very handsome crustacean.
Yeah.
The thing that weirds me out about this is that there's a bizarre, Hollywood movie industry around long enough to have old stars.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Yeah.
Because it's never referenced. It's never referenced anywhere except right here. So.
Yeah, like they have the Academy and, they... Well, okay, so I have my theories regarding that. And yeah, there's the whole film industry in the Bazaar regarding fish people. And also so many films made that two actors that seem to be a couple in the past, which also Sylvia refers to herself as an old lady, but Sterling doesn't give off vibes as being old. So either Sterling is, just preserved well, or he's younger than her. Who knows? But at the same time, she and him starred in many films together. And Sylvia says that she starred in over 100 films. So let's say half of them were with Sterling, maybe a bit less. But the first one was Tide Pools of Desire. And I can't help but wonder if those films were meant for adults, Unlike Fish Hub or whatever.
I didn't think about that.
Because, what type of film production studio does so many, films, so many recordings? Well, adult studios, they, churn out those, probably every day, maybe even, quicker. So, perhaps this career wasn't that long, you know.
Like I'm comparing this to like late 1940s, like 1950s Hollywood, where the films were made a lot quicker and like I don't know, the sort of like basic romance, you know, something like I have to assume Tide Pools of Desire is maybe a direct reference to some old movie,
Oh,
but I
perhaps,
don't know
yeah.
for sure.
I don't know.
But I don't know if they actually did like 100 in a few years in this industry, but I could see that happening in like a decade or 15 years, maybe, you know, something like that. If you're, you know, just accepting everything, and a lot of them are like shooting a month stinkers.
I mean, perhaps, but then would they be so big of stars if those were just like mid-tier flicks, you know, just to, you know, watch and forget? Because they appear to be like, you know, old stars,
Yeah.
like names to remember.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I also find it interesting that she seems to be forgotten. Do you know what I mean? Like she's living on the beach, sipping Pelago punch. She says, never been happier. She shed the burden of stardom.
Yeah. I mean,
So I find it interesting that she's forgotten, but yet Sterling is still, you know, the man, sort of.
I guess this could be like Sylvia had her career. She starred in those many films and had her fill, and then she, well, left that career. She retired, while Sterling says that he has been snubbed by Sylvia and the Academy, and to be snubbed means like to be put aside, sort of, like to be looked down on. Perhaps Sterling did not fulfill his dreams of becoming a movie star, and as he says, he never reached the crest of his wave. So perhaps he still lives in the past. He still reminisces about what could have been if perhaps the romance with Sylvia did actually work out, because maybe there was such a big fallout between them that his career ended one way or another.
Yeah, so he was stuck in like that mid-tier crap movies.
Yeah.
And she was getting Best Actor at the Academy.
Yeah, like she was Creature magazine's most desirable female 3 years in a row.
She's the only one to do that too.
Yeah, but
back to back.
See, this is another thing that would sort of suggest that this might have been an adult industry, you know?
Yeah.
Imagine a magazine, but not a rabbit's head in the logo. There was like fish's head in the logo.
I'm just trying to understand like what is happening in the Bazaar with this. I guess it's a huge place, so you cannot hear about the movie industry, but I mean, like our world, like you see ads for movies everywhere, and there's you know what I mean? It's like a big deal everywhere, all across the whole world.
True, and recently TV shows and films are showing much more skin than they did like 10 years ago, right? So, but at the same time,
R-rated,
yeah,
like on the line.
Yeah, but at the same time, like there are some passages here that make you think, make you wonder if your interpretation that's regular is actually correct, and maybe there's something hidden beneath
the surface.
Perhaps that's exactly what that. But yeah. But you understand where I'm coming from. Like there are some bits that are not exactly one-dimensional.
Like I would really like to see a movie, you know, Bazaar movie expansion, or like I think that would be a good Pig expansion maybe, and like maybe a season themed around them all being movie stars and stuff, because that would be fun. And obviously it's a huge industry. I don't know, there's a lot you could do with that, you know, like events and things you could do.
Yeah, I think you could write an expansion themed around cinemas and films, like in an afternoon. Like you go with like a camera, like a roll of film, a whole cinema building, perhaps popcorn. You know, there's so many things that you could do about that. Like movie tickets.
Yeah, and come on, Pygmalion's gonna get in the industry. He's into everything.
Yeah.
Right. Sterling, the real life actor he reminds me of is like George Clooney. Not sure if you're familiar with him, but
yeah,
he had
I know
like
who's that.
Yeah, he had like a lot of big films like 30 years ago, and is still known and around now, but he doesn't really star in anything.
You know, the last time I saw him was probably a coffee commercial.
Yeah. When I went to China like 10 years ago, his face was everywhere for ads for stuff. I don't know why.
Nice.
I saw him more there than here.
I think this is a good place to stop for today. I think there was a lot to discuss here. So yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about my theory regarding Midsworth. Is he, touched in the head a bit? And what do you think was this great big fallout between Sterling and Sylvia? Did they have a fight? Perhaps she went to the bathroom on his bed.
Do you think they'll ever get back together?
Yeah.
True love will persist.
So yeah, that's the homework for today. Once again, thank you for watching. Leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. And we'll see you all on Thursday. So bye!
See ya.